welcome back to the Hooligans Pitch, episode 101. We're back a little bit later than anticipated.
Yeah, that's all right.
But you know, life gets crazy. Doing trips, doing
all over the place,
doing things, you know. But here we are, final, I guess a season wrap up, but also we can maybe dive into some of the summer drama that's already happening with teams.
It's I really didn't think our first conversation would be summer drama with the USA team kind of being at the top of my list here, Chad. We are now after today within a year of the World Cup coming to the United States, and boy, I do not think as a nation we are ready, and as a team we are ready, and we could just go down this list of I mean, I don't even know where to begin. Was that game last night? It felt like forever ago. I think it was.
Yes, it was last night.
Oh
yeah.
My God,
yeah.
I wish it's a blur in my memory at this point. But I'm worried for whatever we're doing with Poch right now and trying to figure out that system. It's it hasn't been that long since he's been here, right? We're about probably calendar year now, right? Or just about.
Yeah, I think so.
And I have seen no growth, and I'd argue we got worse in this last year somehow, some way. No one's really stepping up and doing I think what I thought would be done. And again, like last couple of games, we didn't have our team, didn't have our squad of everyone, but it can't just be like the three guys of McKinney, Pulisic, and then whoever's going to be that third one. It can't just be them every single game.
Yeah. Honestly, I haven't kept too close of an eye on the men's national team because it's just been such a shit show. So I don't know if it's a tactics issue or player issue or just coach issue. But I do think it's certainly not good signs when you have a experienced coach in this role. Granted, not experienced with an international team, which so that is different and will require a different setup because you're not with the guys all week. You get them 1-2 weeks every couple of months to get your tactics in there and everything, so it is a little bit different, so that could be part of the issue. But this team feels like it's just already imploding before we've even really taken on anything of too much value. Pulisic sitting out these games. Maybe he just needs a rest, or maybe he is fed up with whatever is going on in here. I don't really know, but it's not the exciting lead up to the World Cup that I was hoping for.
Me either, man. Me either. America's 250th birthday is looking grim. Before we really get in, let's open up this to cool off. Yeah,
please.
I'm drinking a Founder's Mortal Bloom Hazy IPA.
Whoa.
Yeah, have you seen that one yet? Yeah, isn't it nice? Cool. It's tasty too. Yeah.
Yeah, today's actually pretty nice weather-wise here, but it has been quite hot, so I grabbed the Summerfest lager from Sierra Nevada. Great option during these hot days, even though today's actually a quality day outside, so I was out there earlier enjoying it, but wow, I don't know where to go from USA now to any other drama. That's just...
Well, I mean, we can look at... I think maybe let's just go to the Premier League really quick and kind of see how we ended with the table doing some crazy things in that final week. And, of course, the title was wrapped up a while ago, but that final day had a little bit of drama. It didn't really shape out to be the drama that I necessarily wanted.
Yeah.
It was pretty straightforward how everyone finished. However, Aston Villa had that very interesting game against Man United to end the season where Emmy just full on trucked someone in the midfield to earn the red card. No doubt about that. But
Yeah.
a little bit of controversy near the end, whatever. Aston Villa, you can't just blame their season on this one game or just that one goal. They had opportunities that they could have capitalized on. But I mean, as far as the EPL goes and the signings that are happening, kind of some out of left field. I can just start. Wirtz, hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. That was a little bit of a surprise. Not because I don't think, Liverpool, like any other top team, would be looking at him, but I just didn't know that Liverpool was looking to commit that much money towards a
Yes.
player right now.
Mm-hmm.
But seems to be that is happening, unofficial yet at this moment, but all signs are pointing to yes, and Liverpool being the only real club in the running at this point, which is, I mean, you've got to be excited. That's quite the signing, and makes a solid midfield now, like maybe a whole nother level up. Like crazy to include him in there now.
The starting roster next year for Liverpool is going to be fascinating. I feel like the depth is going to be there now. The tactics are I think the question mark, right? On how you want to play everyone. What's going to be the ideal,
Yeah.
the ideal starting 11. There's rumors that we're going to kind of possibly rock a 4-4-2 with Salah and Diaz up front. There's rumors to Diaz to Barcelona too. So who that second striker could be off of Salah is fascinating. But having Wirtz as like a center forward with Dominic McAllister and Gravenberch behind them makes so much sense. Like you want to get your best 11 on the field, and I feel like if you can get the four of those midfielders on, you'll figure it out. And of course, Frimpong coming in, one of the fastest, we'll call him men in the world. I mean, that's going to be really interesting to see how he plays off Salah. It's going to be I think a really fun and dynamic team who just got way better than last year. So, and you see City right now making a ton of signings, but a lot of kind of unproven signings at the same time too. Like at least we're picking from Bayern Leverkusen, who have been amazing the last 2 years.
Like City's signings as of right now feel a little bit like they're just looking beyond Pep, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know his time there is winding down, and I think they're maybe signing with that kind of intention of like keeping the team in some good shape and young, and while a little bit unproven at this point, showing promise, I guess, in those signings. But I think back to Liverpool, like I think while it's a surprising signing to bring Wirtz in, I think you strengthen from a place of strength, right? Like stay up top and
Exactly.
especially if City's gonna have another kind of wish-washy season next year, take it while you can and keep the lead on them, and kind of force them to play catch up on the player front rather than letting them go out and throw money around and sign every single person and it not be an issue. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see Wirtz in the Premier League. I think he's obviously did a lot with Leverkusen, and I was really hoping he didn't do the normal like Bundesliga thing and just go to Bayern, and so I'm glad that isn't going to happen. I think it'll be interesting to see how Liverpool set up. It's going to be a balance of finding the attack and defense in there, but I think, like you said, if Wirtz plays kind of that like center forward, false nine kind of vibe role, I think that can work well and allow you to get enough of your like wanting starting players out there.
And he's 23. So
Ugh, crazy.
I know. I know. It's going to be a nice addition to have for hopefully a long time. I guess the main
Yeah.
concern is we don't see a lot of Germans coming through the Premier League. So,
Yeah.
how successful can a German be? I mean, there's only a few off the top of my head that I could really think of that have had good seasons. Rudiger,
Hmm.
Leno, Sane when he was with City.
Hmm.
Um, me can go way back. Michael Ballack for Chelsea. But
Yeah.
again, a very slim few. So, I hope as a German he can kind of keep pace with those guys. Um, yeah, I mean that's kind of it for Liverpool. I mean, there's rumors that we're gonna get another striker too, possibly Alvarez from Atletico. I think that'd be a good,
Oh.
a good, kind of co-striker if we're gonna do this two up top with Salah, and he probably
Mhm.
wants to have some payback for City. Um, and then of course just the rumor of Isaac too. So I don't think we're done yet, which is crazy.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of the state of the game at the top end, right? Is like you have to just keep getting stronger, unfortunately.
It's just unusual for Liverpool. We're not the spending type, right?
Yeah.
So to see this first transfer of possibly 150 million, well, I guess Frimpong felt like it was free, but I
Yeah.
mean, when you average the two of those players out, it's a pretty sweet deal. Um, but yeah, I mean, easily the signing of the year if it goes through and everything looks good for the Premier League, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I guess jump into Arsenal. Nothing confirmed on anything yet, really. But the reports are all saying Zubimendi's coming in, which I think will
Hmm.
be great. Get that kind of like deeper lying playmaker, and I think he's shown enough promise over the years to kind of step into that Partey role. So Declan Rice can continue to kind of push further up as he did last season, and hopefully take some of that creative pressure off of Odegaard and
Hmm.
find a little bit of a balance there again. So looks like that's gonna happen, but again,
Don't hold your breath.
nothing official. Yeah, so
You teased
who
us last year.
knows? um, and then yeah, just in the recent days, I don't know if you saw, but they're looking at signing Kepa as the
Hmm.
backup keeper, which for 5 mil I think is a steal, honestly.
Yep.
Um, he's had. I was just looking through his save percentage and stuff over the past few years. Hovers right around the like 70 to 75 range, which is pretty good, pretty comparable to like David Raya and stuff. So, um, I think they'll, if he comes in, I think he'll be brought in with, of course, you can challenge for the position. I don't think he's taken over Raya's
Yeah, I
position,
don't think so.
just because he's kind of had it locked down, and I think it's better with his feet for all the passing out of the back and all that. But to have a backup keeper that can step in and do the job. And Kepa's, I don't know, I think he's like 30 or something now, so he's
Hmm.
hopefully over the antics of not
Right.
wanting to be subbed out and all that.
Probably. Yeah. That's
uh,
probably hopefully long gone.
yeah, but I mean he had a pretty great season with Bournemouth last season, so he's still got it. um, it's scary signing the old Chelsea players because been burned plenty of times before,
Hmm.
but I think this is a safe enough one at a cheap enough price, um, that I think it'll be good to have him in there and you know see what games he plays, cup games I'm sure, but you know God forbid Raya gets hurt, and I think he's a better option than Neto was, and not that we really use Neto at all, but
Yeah.
he's in there, so well, hopefully he'll be in there. Yeah, those are kind of the two like big ones that seem to be done, almost done. Everything else is kind of up in the air. Like Sesko seems to be the striker target that they decided on. Which I mean, that could be a whole podcast episode in itself of Sesko, Gyökeres, or Isaac, whatever. I think, Sesko makes more sense from Arsenal's just kind of transfer strategy up until this point over the last few years of, signing younger players, but have the real promise and real growth in them where, um, Gyökeres is older, I guess hitting his prime and peak, but I think there's just big question marks around the level of the Portuguese league and
Hmm.
being able to duplicate at least some of that in Premier League. People keep pointing to Darwin Nunez, which I don't think is exactly fair. It's
Yeah.
different ages and stages of career and all that, but I get the hold up on it, and Sesko doing Bundesliga and performing well enough there and still showing promise. And I think based off the stats and stuff, he looks more well-rounded, and more suited to how Arsenal like to attack. So, um, yeah, I mean, that too is apparently like talks every day and getting closer or whatever, but nothing confirmed or anything. So everything's just kind of up in the air for Arsenal at the moment. But the potential signings are looking good, I'd say.
Yeah, you just gotta lock him in at this point.
Mhm.
Yeah, Sesko is just kind of the traditional nine that I feel like Arsenal always kind of wants to have. He's
Mhm.
6'6",
Yeah,
so
big dude.
if your set pieces mean anything, like he's kind of the perfect piece to kind of come in there and just
Yeah.
be another giant. Um, yeah, it's fascinating what could have been if Arsenal stayed healthy last year.
Mhm.
So all I really wish for is just good health for the teams coming into the season. It's so much better when it's competitive, and like I get
Oh
it, you
yeah.
want your team to win the title too, but it feels just like a little extra when everyone's competing at their best.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it goes for everyone too. Down the line from the cities to the Tottenhams. I want to be the best. You got to beat the best type thing, and
Yeah.
outside a couple teams, I feel like they weren't their best last year. So I, I'm not surprised teams are trying to make these big moves this summer to again prove another point, especially because one, Arsenal was so close to the Champions League final last year.
Mhm.
Liverpool winning the title, but like they could have done a treble. Like honestly, it was just PSG got in the way for many teams
Yeah.
throughout the season. And then City's on a retooling, a revamping style. I
Mhm.
think you could say that for probably most teams outside of the three I just said, and maybe Chelsea. Chelsea's probably stuck with what they got at the moment. They might make a pickup here and there, but everyone else is gonna need a total retool in their roster to keep competing. From obviously Man United and Tottenham, but the West Hams and
Mhm.
I mean just go down the list. I'm gonna do it. We can talk about every team here really quick and just kind of like what they could need in order to compete. Newcastle is going to be interesting because they have some key pieces that could be leaving. So how are
Mhm.
they going to revamp that? Villa is kind of doing the same thing, right? They got some aging pieces. They need to figure something out. Forest, they need to bolster this up considering they wanted to go to Champions League last year.
Yeah.
And then you start to hit, the bottom 10, and you never really know what they're going to do, but most of those teams are trying to be better next year.
Yeah.
So my way too early of prediction next year, though, is I think the top seven is probably going to be pretty similar.
Yeah. I would think so. I mean, I think I guess there is the chance that United or Tottenham kind of turn it around, get back up there. But
Top seven, though, you think they can?
I mean, I think it's a stretch. Because I mean, yeah, that top seven right now is all teams that are pretty much figured out or in a good enough spot where, yeah, it's maybe tweaking a few things or bringing in a player or whatever it might be. But
Right.
um, you know, I, I think Forest is maybe the outlier here of like, was this just a
Mm-hmm.
season that was on the back of Chris Wood just having the season of his life, or is this team really kind of built to compete at the top end like this? Which I don't know. It could go either way. Like, I think they have that potential. They certainly showed up against some bigger teams throughout the season, and if not won the game, at least made it difficult. Um, but then, yeah, I think obviously United will be looking to be back up there because that's where they should be, right? And same with Tottenham is like you you kicked out Ainge and potentially, I guess, bring in Thomas Frank.
Right.
So there should be that excitement with that, and I don't know. I think it's I'd say top six. I feel like is pretty solid, but it's that like 7 to 10. I think will be the real shuffle of who's on it this season and who's kind of off the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little worried if I was Brentford if I'm going to lose Mbumo.
Yeah, that would be big.
Bournemouth too might have a different identity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, this is Crystal Palace's time to shine this year. I have a feeling they're gonna, if they keep everyone who they had at the end of last season, strong chance they break top 10. Strong. They can't lose Munoz. They can't lose Eze. And of course, Mateta.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like anyone on that team wants to leave. It seems like they're in a pretty good spot.
I'm surprised I haven't heard anything about, Munoz and Eze's name always gets kind of thrown around in the windows, but doesn't ever seem to be any real traction on it. So I think, if they can kind of hang on to what they got and, I don't know, bring in some reinforcements or something for, maybe Munoz. I don't know how many games that guy played, but certainly got to rest him if they do end up in Europe. I mean, I know there's been some drama around that too. So I'd like to see them keep growing. They got number 12 locked. Like, they're so good at that. But like, let's just like bump it up a spot or two.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, I'm surprised not a lot of teams are at least calling for Munoz that have been made public. He played 37 games last year. So, and I think the game he missed was because he was suspended.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was key to their attack certainly, and even defensively was, scored a lot of points for me with his tackling and everything. So, key player, but I'm surprised. Yeah, they're not getting hounded for him a little bit more, but I don't know. Maybe right backs in the Premier League and the wider game is everyone's kind of chill with what they got.
Yeah, surprisingly, I think City is the one that I thought would maybe come knocking. It seems like their right back is, there's kind of a little hole there. Which thank goodness they didn't get Trent. Happy Trent is in Madrid. Go have some fun. But I'm happy we had a quick replacement for you. I don't know if you saw Liverpool got a little, I don't know, the pettiness on the Twitter when Trent left. They did his like, goodbye, Trent. Thank you for everything you did, like normal portrait. But when Kelleher left, dude, it was like a freaking like portrait, like highlights behind him. The difference between the two was pretty fascinating. And obviously we know why. Yeah, Kelleher going to Brentford. Gosh, I don't remember where Brentford's keeper's going. He's going to
Leverkusen.
Leverkusen, that's right. That's the switch. Yeah. So yeah, just a little keeper swap there. But Kelleher's really good, so he's gonna hopefully, he'll help Brentford, but I don't think it'll be. I don't know, man. I kind of got Brentford on relegation watch, to be honest.
Yeah,
if they lose their goal scorers, right?
Yeah, especially if Mbumo goes. even when he wasn't scoring, he was assisting, or at least he was such a threat down that side that teams had to respect him, right? And um, I mean, yeah, you're losing the coach that's kind of been with you for years and set up the system and finally got you to a stable point in maintaining Premier League status. So
Yep.
scary times ahead for them, I think, but hopefully they weren't too shocked by this. And hopefully, if Mbumo does go, I think the price tag was like 60 or 70 million. So hopefully they can just reinvest wisely,
Yep.
which seems to be what they do. They typically get some quality players in for not crazy amounts of money. So as long as that pans out and whoever the new coach may be is can handle it, then they might be okay. But I think it will just be a kind of a nerve-wracking season for them.
Yeah, Thomas Frank, second longest tenureship in the Premier League with Brentford.
And you go Tottenham?
I know. Bold move.
Yeah. Yeah. Were you surprised at all that Tottenham sacked Ainge? Or?
No.
Yeah.
Not one
Me
bit.
either.
I was more surprised that he said, season 3 is going to be the best ever. And I was like,
Yeah. I would have preferred the mic drop of him kind of walking out, but I get this way he gets, the buyout and everything. So
it would have been sick on like that last day. Like,
yeah.
I'm done. It's over.
Yeah.
Did what I needed to do. Yeah, not surprised. And that's just because I think their run through Europa was just, I mean, we can call it easy. And for what they showed in Premier League, yeah, they had a lot of injuries, but like they really just showed no growth from when they hired him. Sure, great attacking presence, but everyone saw right through that and kind of just did it right back, which is why this is just such a crazy stat. At 17th place, the most losses for any team in the Premier League to not get relegated had only a -1 goal differential. Like, that's crazy. That's on par with the middle of the table. But you let up so many goals.
That's wild. I mean, to think that we almost had a Tottenham team get relegated, assume they still win Europa, and then play in Championship and Champions League would have been a fascinating story anyway. But I get like the glory of bringing any trophy to Tottenham, but especially a European trophy. Like, congrats, it's well done, it's well deserved. But I don't think you can. You just can't ignore the league form, right? Like, even with injuries, like we harped on it all season long of like you didn't change your tactics at all, and you got punished for it time and time again. And I get like you want to play this way, but you have to do what you can to get the win with the players you have, right? And I don't know if you want to call it like stubbornness or just inflexibility, I guess, or like tactically unaware. I don't know,
Yeah.
but just he never changed anything, and they got punished so many times. When I think you start to make some tweaks and adapt your play to who's healthy and who can play, and I think they probably still would have finished kind of mid-table, but at least you're not 17th.
And to put it this way, Tottenham scored 8 less goals than Manchester City last year.
Yeah, see,
like,
that's crazy.
That's the fall off there is just incredible. Like, just not a lick of defense. So yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows what next year is going to look like? It's just fascinating little talking points here and there for those teams that just drop the ball so hard this year. Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Good luck to them in Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, you made it. You'll get that entry fee, but short of Thomas Frank doing some real work or them making some real different signings, like I don't see this. I don't see a long run, like even probably not even making it out of the league phase, I think.
I can't imagine. Not with this squad they currently are about to about to roll out.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. And on the other hand, Man United signed Cunha.
Yep.
Um, I think a good signing, but
Premature by Cunha.
I think premature.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I was, obviously he made that signing before the Europa final, and I was like, is he just banking on them? Which is why I was so heavy on Man United winning Europa, because I was like, they can't sign a guy of this caliber right now and lose this thing. There's no way. That's just like crazy embarrassment, and
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like, could he terminate that the contract like before
Yeah, it
that
has some like
happened?
clause in there to
I don't
to back
know.
out early.
I don't know. Yeah, and of course, like seeing the Mbumo rumors to Man United too. Just a
Mhm.
lot of things they were looking forward to before I think they even knew where they were going to be, and
Yeah.
now they're kind of in the gutter. But I mean, we won't
Yeah.
know till the summer ends, but
I mean,
not great.
the Cunha signing, the potential Mbumo signing just feels very Man United of like this was a popular name last season. Let's sign them
Hmm.
without any real forethought of like how they'll be implemented and if they even fit the system Amarim wants to play, which kind of the same way as Ainge and Tottenham. Like I don't know that we saw much progress over the season.
Now, does Anthony come back to Man United?
I think he should. I think it was just a loan. Um,
I'm gonna look really quick.
I'm sure he's trying to get a move, back to what is it, Betis, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he'd like to go back there. He seemed to enjoy his time
Oh
there and
yeah.
certainly enjoyed his football. So
He's best player in the world for a month and a half.
yeah, crazy.
Just awesome. Awesome. Oh man. Well, obviously I did not go to Germany for the Champions League final.
Yeah, yeah,
Would have loved to be there. However, kind of said, well, that was an ass kicking. Kind of okay that we didn't spend all that money to go to this game.
yeah,
That was unfortunately a terrible way to end a pretty good Champions League year.
yeah. I would agree. Especially with the games interplayed in the Champions League leading
Yes.
up to that.
Yes. Amazing games. Some of the most
Yeah,
entertaining games we've seen in the Champions League.
yeah.
And then on the flip side, PSG, knocking out our teams. And by the end
Hmm.
of this thing, I said, "Oh, damn! Maybe we are a lot better than I thought we were."
Yeah.
By the end of this, and granted, PSG had a style of play that I just don't think people could keep up with. Their pace was just incredible.
Mhm.
But again, they beat Liverpool in one game by 1-0 and one on PKs. I have to
Mhm.
remind me what they did against Arsenal. But
Yeah,
it wasn't the final.
it wasn't the final. And I mean, for the Arsenal games, like I don't really give too much, credit to the XG reports and stuff, but technically, Arsenal outscored them on the XG over both legs, which it points to different issues in the Arsenal team. But
Yep.
I think we both kind of came away with the same thought of like, well, one, if you're going to go out to the champion, right?
Yep.
And two, it's like, yeah, we put up a good fight against that team. Sometimes it's either just, you're missing that piece in the squad, which for Arsenal is clearly a striker or some clinical finisher.
Well, and you had
And
Kiwior starting as your center back in
yeah,
leg two, which
yeah, certainly some, other factors and stuff. But I think too is like any of these cup tournaments, require that little bit of luck, right? Where it's
Sure.
like
Yep.
Arsenal played PSG early on in the league phase and beat them pretty handedly. It wasn't a crazy scoreline, but wasn't a real fight for Arsenal to get the win. And then PSG is able to kind of get their league or their season turned around a little bit and find the form and find some of the luck that they needed. And you know, I mean, all that to say, like they certainly deserved the win
For sure.
in the final. Like it was a real smashing, but yeah, like I didn't feel like it. If you're gonna go out, like I feel like Arsenal played a pretty good game against
Yep.
a team that just scored 5 in the final. That's crazy.
I know. Inter was just awful. Awful game. Chad, let's take a quick break here and we'll come back and kind of wrap up this podcast. Quick break.
Sure.